Become an individual and watch everything in your life upgrade. Today I want to share with you how to do this. And it's funny when they talk about things run in families like diseases and certain conditions. I think that's BS. I think lifestyles and thought patterns run in families. And the reason why a lot of us struggle early on in life, I believe, is because of the programming we've gone through in our young days, in our childhood. And everyone talks about the matrix and the media and how the world's corrupt, which that is true. It's certainly, we have a lot of problems in the world. But if we want to be honest, a lot of the problems really come from our families, because our families are the ones that allow us to experience certain things. And when we're young, we don't have a say because we're so young until we're 18, then we're legally an adult. But even when we're younger than that, our family is the deciding factor for what we eat, what we drink, the things we watch on TV, the people that we're around. Everything in our life early on is from our families. And a lot of people on the spiritual path miss this, and they talk about the matrix and society, but it's really the core of the awakening process, I believe, is becoming aware of these patterns in our families. And Carl Jung talks about the individuation process. Basically, it's the awakening process. It's becoming our own self. It's dissolving the ego, dissolving the being aware of the shadow aspects of ourselves, and then having the self, who we really are, come through. And what I want to share today is what I did to what I've been doing. I mean, I'm not finished with this, but just becoming our own person, becoming sovereign, becoming conscious, becoming authentic. And it starts with just seeing what you don't want in life. I know growing up as a kid, I always saw my parents arguing about money, and whenever we would have dinner, there'd be money conversations in front of the whole family. Me and my siblings would all be hearing about the money struggles and this and that, and it's just these deep beliefs really stick with us in life. And like I mentioned earlier, a lot of the time we are told maybe things run in our family, or when it comes to health and disease and all these things, and I call it BS. There's these things called epigenetics, and it's basically, not to get into it too deeply, but basically it's our genes and our coding, our programs and our wiring can turn on and off. And what just happens is when we're around our families and we're around the same people, as an example, my family, not to say anything bad about them, but most of my family, my parents and siblings and aunts and uncles and grandparents, everyone has lived in this same area, the same little bubble, the same maybe 30-mile area in Pennsylvania. And when you're in the same environment for decades and you're seeing the same people every weekend, it's just, you're going to become just like them. And when we're not understanding how our reality works and we're not really aware of our thought patterns and our deeper beliefs, then we're going to just be on this autopilot loop. And people, I see it in my family, people don't know who they are. All they know is the reflections of the family, and it can create this really toxic dynamic. My family wasn't so bad, but for example, my wife's family, extremely, extremely toxic. There was abuse that happened when my wife was young. Her parents didn't care. Her mom just blocks everything out and doesn't want to know about it. Extreme narcissism, extreme toxic patterns and dynamics, and it's horrible. But that's the planet we're on. That's what a lot of our families have. So regardless of if your family is really toxic or not, becoming aware of the patterns when it comes to everything, when it comes to your diet, your lifestyle, what you watch on TV, when it comes to your beliefs around money and your love beliefs. Does success require hard work? Do you have to suffer to make money? Does it have to be a grind? Maybe not. But the default setting is from our family, you see? That's the default factory setting that we're born, we go through our childhood, and then at a certain point we have this moment where we realize, wow, I've been programmed a lot. And then we have the experience where it's wow, we can actually change this programming. We can be grateful for the benefits of our family, maybe kept us safe, gave us food, gave us shelter, all those amazing things. But maybe there was things missing. Maybe the emotional connection wasn't there. Maybe our parents weren't very physically affectionate to us. Maybe they didn't hug us a lot. They didn't show us love with physical touch and all these different things. Maybe things were missing, and maybe that affects us right now when it comes to dating, when it comes to going for our career goals, right? Putting the camera up, making a video, or sharing your art, or offering your healing sessions and coaching people. The way we can get past this programming, because I'm going to call it what it is, it's a program. The way we get past this is we become our own self. We take the time to, and how we do this is we create space. And you might say, Trevor, I live with my parents still, I'm with my family all the time. And trust me, I get it. When I had my awakening, I left New York City, I came back home to my parents' house. I was around my family and my siblings for 3 years straight after my awakening. Extremely sensitive, extremely intuitive and psychic, and feeling the vibes from all my family members and always being around them. So I know what it's like when you're around those people and you can't really just leave them because maybe they're giving you a place to stay. So I get that part of it. We can still create space when we're with people physically. It's space mentally. It's the space emotionally. And all we really have to do is, instead of being super involved, how do I put this? Instead of being kind of caught in the game of life when you're with your family or you're with people, maybe you're in the same room, you're having dinner together or whatever, just if we can take a step back and be more of the observer. Just kind of take a step back, almost step out of ourselves and just observe. When you're with your family, observe the patterns. Don't react super fast. Don't get caught in the game. Kind of step back, kind of have a big picture view, like third person view almost, and just observe the dynamics. And of course, observe yourself. Observe your thought patterns. Observe how you behave with people when you go on dates, when you have business projects. Like, just pick up on these details, because I guarantee you're going to see the patterns of your family, how you were programmed and raised, and what you're doing now, maybe in this current moment. And this was, like I shared in a previous video, when after I was home for 3 years after my awakening, I moved to Arizona. And talk about space. I mean, Pennsylvania to Arizona, it's pretty far distance there. And it really helped me, because I remember I used to go to these hikes on South Mountain in Phoenix. Man, I freaking miss these hikes. Just gorgeous trails and open space and mountain, it's like decent sized mountains, I would say, decent sized hikes. And well, my whole point is that just I had physical space finally to, man, I would just meditate for hours out there. I would just walk around, I would just play some music, or just maybe, smoke a little weed and just relax. And I really got to find myself. And I'm still finding myself now. I'm still working on this, of course, but taking the space emotionally and mentally, like I said, if you can't leave them physically, people around you, just kind of have some space in your head and just like observe. But if you get the chance to move and you get a chance to have a fresh start in a new environment, I think that's the best way. I'm not saying you need to leave your family right now or leave people right now, but I'm just sharing with you what happened with me when I went to Arizona for a couple of years. Now I'm in Texas. This space really allows you to kind of choose your own beliefs and choose how you want to show up. And not even just that, just finding out who you really are. And it's comfortable when you're with people, like my family's together, that there have been, like I said before, my family's in the same area of Pennsylvania for their whole lifetime, for decades and decades and decades and decades. And it's almost sad, because I feel like you don't really get to understand like maybe some of the gifts you have and what you really want to go for in life, what your true like soul's desires are. I just feel like you can't always find that unless you have that space. Unless you take that time to really understand like how the brain works, how like the first 5-10 years of our life we're just absorbing everything around us. Our brain is so open when we're children. I have a son, he's a year and a half, and I'm doing my best I can to not program him so much about these like beliefs and everything. I want to have him to choose for himself and have him understand like who he really is and just find himself on his own without me just giving him beliefs about the world and about money and all these things, because I know what it's like to have those beliefs. And they're subconscious, deeply rooted programs. It's not like a service level thing. It's our deepest beliefs about safety, about our creativity, about even our sexuality. These are the deep aspects that a lot of us push away or we don't want to look at because it's a little bit scary. And there's maybe certain things that we wanted to do as a kid or wanted to do as young adults, as teenagers, but maybe our family and society, maybe it wasn't allowed or it was frowned upon. And this is what Carl Jung talks about, is with the shadow, we're facing these aspects that maybe were suppressed in the past. And it's like, now let's be aware of them and let's find a safe space to like express that. And this is really the first step, is becoming your own individual. It's just becoming aware of these aspects and just kind of seeing the bigger picture, seeing where we've been, seeing basically what we've not been able to kind of show the world. And it can be your creativity. It can be so many different things. I know for example, with my family, it was one of the ways that as I look back on, this is kind of what I realized when I had my awakening, was my childhood. One of the ways that I got attention from my parents was getting good grades and like having a report card, coming home with a report card, having like all A's. And I remember I'd be so happy to have all A's because, well, my mom, my dad would give me attention. They'd be like, oh, good job. And like, that was one of the ways that I got love. Like I got love by doing well and working hard in school and getting A's. And that was kind of the program. It's like, if I work super hard and I just try super hard to get A's and I get A's, then I'm gonna get some love for that. And same with sports, playing hockey. If I play hockey, I do really well, my dad will be proud of me and he'll give me some attention, he'll give me some emotional connection, because that was often lacking, was the emotional connection from him. So what did I do? I played hockey my whole life. I mean, it was fun, but I see how part of that was to get his attention, to get his love, to get his energy, to have him just focus on me, because my parents are pretty unconscious. So maybe like, what are you still doing to try to get this love and attention? Because I got news for you. We can give it to ourselves. And that's one of the big things I worked on. I'm still working on now, of course, but when I had my awakening, was the inner child, understanding that my inner child is still with me and trying to unify it, giving it love now, giving it attention now, accepting it now, accepting my inner child for however weird or quirky or just, creative, and just accepting all parts of us. Because when our parents and our family don't accept this, they don't raise us consciously, we have these inner child blocks, inner child wounding, and that hurts us in business. It hurts us when it comes to our creativity, creating content, being a leader, being a speaker, being a teacher, a coach, whatever you want to do. It's gonna hurt us if we don't heal the inner child. And I believe healing the inner child goes hand in hand with becoming our own individual, becoming our own person. So create some space, find a way. If you're at your family right now, you're with your family, you can still create space. You can still have time in the day to meditate, go for walks in nature. You don't have to be mean to your family, or you don't have to do anything like mean or harsh to them. But it's an inside job with you. Can you create some space in your head, emotionally create some space, and maybe even when it's time, when you feel called to, maybe move across the country or move further away. Move an hour away. I think you'll be surprised at how much you discover about yourself when you have that space, maybe some gifts you didn't realize you had, some talents and skills you have, maybe just you get some clarity on what you really want out of this lifetime. The clarity and the understanding, the awareness can come from creating that space. So if this video helped you at all, please give me a thumbs up. It helps the channel to grow very much, and subscribe for more content. I'll see you very soon with more videos. Take care, my friend. Bye.